The first time I was pregnant, I did what every new mom would do, right? Try to prepare myself for the birth. Watch so many videos on what to expect, what it might feel like, when to push, when to breathe, how to breathe. Took classes on what to expect and your breathing technique. Then came the day. I had contractions every 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I think it's time to check myself into the hospital, and I did. It was a Wednesday evening at like maybe 5:30. Went to the hospital, checked myself in. The nurse was like, yeah, you're having contractions. They put me in a room, and then I remember thinking, I was like, from all the videos I've seen, everyone talked about how when the pain comes through, it's really hard. So in my head, and because I was so nervous and it was my first time, I was like, I need an epidural because I don't want to feel that pain and then exhaust myself and not be able to push the baby. So I was like, I need an epidural. And the doctors gave it to me. And then that was Wednesday at like 5:30. I think I got the epidural at like 10 at night. And the next day, Thursday morning, they're like, okay, you're dilating. And they came and checked, and you're like, okay, you're 10 centimeters dilated. Let's start pushing. I was so exhausted. I was so hungry because I hadn't eaten anything since 2 p.m. the previous day. And I was just literally surviving on ice chips, and I was so hungry. And I started pushing, and I started pushing. And for some reason, I wasn't doing it right because all the nurses and like the people around me, they're like, okay, keep going, keep going. But then I saw their faces, and their faces literally said, oh, I don't think she's doing it right. And I was just so exhausted and so hungry, and I was so aware of it. And my epidural started wearing off, and oh boy, did I feel that pain. And then they were like, do you want another epidural? I was like, okay. They gave me another epidural. 2 hours of pushing, and I guess I wasn't making any progress. And I think my OBGYN was really exhausted from the night before because she was like, we're gonna go in for a C-section. And I was like, I don't want a C-section, but I was new. This was my first experience, my first time, and I didn't know any better. So I was like, okay, a C-section it is. And I had a C-section, and I was so scared. And I think in my head I was also really disappointed because this is not the birth that I had imagined in my head. I wasn't expecting to be cut open with a curtain in front of me and lights just in my face. This was not what I wanted. This is not what I expected. And then my doctor was so tired that instead of stitching me up, she stapled me. And when I tell you that stapled recovery was so damn painful, it truly was. And my stomach never fully recovered properly until I had my next two births, and the doctor did it right. And as a new mom, and I think I was having baby blues, I think the weeks after, my body was so bloated. I had so much fluid in my legs from the epidural. It was swollen for months. My stomach was so numb that I could pinch it and not feel anything. And I was so sad and so angry and so depressed. I think it was borderline baby blue depression, and I was trying to take care of this little tiny baby and went back to work after 8 weeks and trying to juggle everything. It was just a lot. And it literally took a mindset shift, 7 months postpartum, for me to snap out of it and be like, you know what? I am reclaiming myself because I cannot do this, and I cannot be this version of a mom to this tiny baby. And I had to literally rewire myself and be like, I got this. And it took a lot of effort from my part to step out of the house and be like, I'm going for a walk. I'm going to take the time I need, and I'm going to put myself first a little bit too. And I slowly started to come out of this depression that I was in because I was like, this can't be the mom that this baby gets. And I had to rewire myself and literally snap out of it. And that's how I finally got myself back. But I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed in me for a really long time because I literally felt like I failed at birthing, as crazy as that sounds. And every time I saw a story about a mom who like went through the labor process and delivered the baby, and here she is 6 weeks later holding a newborn with like her stomach coming back to normal, and I'd look at myself and be like, my stomach is not even close to being normal. And it hurts so much to just walk still. But without me making a conscious decision to say, Maurice, this is not you, you have to show up as a better version of yourself, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. And I think looking back, it actually takes a lot of courage to acknowledge how you are feeling, because oftentimes everyone else is so busy asking about the baby that they actually forget to ask about you, and you have to step up for yourself and be like, no, I need to prioritize myself too. I think I learned a lot from that. I learned to trust my body, not necessarily go with everything I've read or seen. So for when it came down to my next 2 pregnancies, I was so much more prepared, and I made sure to pick a doctor that my gut said to go with. And I literally begged the universe to make sure that I have the doctor that I picked on the day of my delivery, because we all know you'll have a delivery date, but your baby can come earlier, right? So I was like, dear universe, dear God, I want the doctor I picked for my own sanity and for my child. And just so I recover better, I want the doctor I picked. And I did. For the next 2 deliveries, I got the doctor I picked. And he was so good and so patient and so caring that my next 2 deliveries are so different than my first one. And I'm forever grateful for being able to come back to myself. But the point is, you can read all you want about everything. You can see everything that you need to see. You can have a vision in your head. At the end of the day, I think the most important thing you can do for yourself is believe in yourself and believe in your body, and always, always, always go with your gut instinct. Yeah. Thanks for being here.